Good afternoon, sports fans. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan softball, their final home game of the season, taking on Rutgers, looking for a sweep, potentially even looking for a run rule sweep on their senior day. Of course, this is WCBN Sports. We've got a couple Michigan Daily staffers joining me in the booth today. Of course, I'm Zach Shaw. Joining me today is softball beat writer Orion Sang. We're a little short-handed at WCBN, so the Michigan Daily's lending their help. And we're joining you in the bottom of the first inning. Came a little late here on this Mother's Day. We wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day out there and all the seniors a happy senior day down on the softball field. And Orion, it seems like this game is just about par for the course for what we've seen from this series so far. A dominant performance by Betts on the mound and Sierra Romero already with a home run. We haven't even played a full inning. Is that pretty much what we're seeing?
Yeah, Zach. From what we've seen here this weekend, Wolverine offense is just unstoppable against Rutgers pitching. Yesterday, against Rutgers pitcher Dresden Maddox, Wolverines had 12 hits for 11 runs. Friday was much of the same. You know, the Scarlet Knights really just can't stop them. And especially Sierra Romero. I talked to her yesterday. She actually mentioned this series is the first time she's felt fully healthy all year. As Tara Blanco lines a single to right, Gonzalo to third base, Blanco first. Romero told me yesterday that her back has been giving her pain all year, and she's been unable to generate power from swing. Just hit 3 home runs in 3 games here this weekend, so it looks like she's back to early. So,
just to catch our listeners up to speed, in the top of the first, Betsa struck out the side in order, looking as dominant as always. She had a 9-strikeout, 3-inning performance, about as good as you can get in Friday's game. And then, of course, today, Sierra Lawrence grounded out to shortstop. Nice play by Slowinski over there at short. Sierra Romero hit a home run to right center field. Now Michigan has runners at the corners with Aiden Falk at the plate. Whitney Jones on the mound again, just as she came in as relief on Friday. Did actually a nice job. Gave up 5 runs, but against this Michigan team, that's about what you can ask for. Michigan leading the nation with over 8 runs per game. First pitch on Falk, a ball. Susala at third, Blanco at first. Whitney Jones ready. The 1-0 pitch. That one's high. Ball 2-2-0. And control seemed to be an issue on Friday. Maybe not quite as much of an issue on Saturday, but still a problem. I mean, is Rutgers, are they intimidated, or is it really just their pitching is struggling that much?
to be honest, I think it's maybe a combination of both.
Okay.
Rutgers, you know, I'm going to be honest, not a great team this year.
That pitch is grounded or fouled away toward the first base side. 2-1 count, 2 outs as Rutgers coach comes to go visit Whitney Jones on the mound, or in the circle, excuse me. Still got that baseball terminology. Go ahead, Orion.
Yeah, already in some trouble here in the bottom of the first, and that's par for the course. Pitchers have been getting in trouble early innings all weekend, and see if you can get out of this camp, you know. Routes are ready, so we'll see.
Rutgers 24-31, Michigan 43-4. I believe that's right. I haven't got my game notes out, but so certainly a differential in talent and in success as a team this season. Michigan comes in as the number 2 team in the country. They're looking to get back to where they were last season, which was the Women's College World Series Championship. Jones back in the circle. Falk has a .318 batting average, and that bumps up to .378 with runners in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch floats in there, but it's going to be high. Ball 3, called a strike late. 2-2 count on Falk.
And one thing to notice about Falk is takes a lot of swings, doesn't have that many walks, but she can hit the power. She actually pushed away to the starting lineup about, I don't know, maybe midway through the season.
Yeah, that's right.
After a freshman Alex Subchak started most of the season at catcher. And Falk really has turned it on lately, you know.
2-2 pitch high, so it's going to be a full count. 2 outs, runners in the corners, assuming they will be looking to steal on the payoff pitch. Jones takes a breath. Important pitch right here. Should get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed. That'd be I'd say a victory for the Scarlet Knights. But obviously, if Falk can do anything else, it speaks for itself. Payoff pitch driven to left field. That one's going to head toward foul territory, but nice play by the left fielder. It's going to be Nikki Aniko, able to track it down to foul territory. So, as I said, Rutgers able to end the first inning, allowing just 1 run. I think given the amount of runs they've given up this series, that's got to be a small victory for the Scarlet Knights.
I would agree.
And so, as we mentioned, pitching for the Wolverines, although it may shuffle, given that it's a senior day, they might try to get everyone a little bit of action, and they're last home game of the season, aside from the playoffs. Assuming at this point that they'll be in good shape to host the regionals and super regionals, assuming they advance to super regionals. But Megan Betts on the mound, and she has now pitched 4 innings this series, given three on Saturday or 3 on Friday, 1 today, and she has 12 strikeouts. What's allowed her to be so dominant?
I would have to say she's had, she had a hot streak where she had, a sub-1 ERA for a few years. And during that streak, it was really her control that set it different from her earlier performances this year. Earlier this year, she was really struggling with walks and she's settled down lately. Friday, she had a few control problems. She mentioned that to other Bettleman Friday night. But, I think she's looking like the Megan Betts of old after, not a great start to the season.
That's a 21-3 with a 2.09 ERA, a 1.13 WHIP, which is walks and hits per innings pitched, and she has 231 strikeouts in just 137 and a third innings pitched. So nearly 2 an inning for Betsa, and she's obviously at that pace so far, striking out the side in order to begin this game. And her first opponent in the second inning is going to be Melanie Slawinski, who's got a 286 batting average. 356 on base percentage. So Rutgers, and we talked about this on Friday, start off pretty good. Their first 4 hitters, pretty capable, experienced players. But then from there, they've got several freshmen in the starting lineup, a few sophomores, and it just kind of teeters off. It seems like they don't have a complete 9 that can contend with teams like Michigan and Minnesota in the Big Ten. Betsa gets in the circle. Slawinski waits. First pitch of the second inning. Wind up kick delivery once high for ball 1. And we mentioned Betsa, some control issues. 80 walks and 137 and a third innings pitched, which isn't necessarily bad, but it certainly, for a pitcher as dominant as she is, she might as well just throw the strike. Second pitch high. And, maybe that's part of the mystique, is you don't know exactly where the pitches are going to be. As a hitter, some pitchers, if they're throwing strikes every time, people can kind of time it. They can get it ready. At the very least, she keeps the hitters guessing. Yeah,
she's actually leading the nation in strikeouts for 7 innings with 11.5. So I'd say it's working pretty well so far for one.
It's a very good clip. Third pitch would be at bat, in there for a strike. Slawinski did a bit of a check swing, as we mentioned, guessing a little bit. That's mixing up her pitch as well so far. We're seeing breaking balls, rise balls. Fastballs, she's obviously got that powerful fastball. Steps back for the 2-1 pitch. The windup delivery is going to be just high, just outside to make it a 3-1 count on Slawinski. Slawinski has a little bit of extra base power on the season. She has 11 extra base hits out of 48 hits total. 4 home runs. Had a quiet series so far. Is batting .417 when leading off the inning. The 3-1 pitch. Check swing, appealed. It's going to be called a strike, so another full count. Defensive starters, usual suspects so far. We might see some change, getting some of the lesser utilized seniors in the game. Betsa, payoff pitch. It's going to be high, so Slawinski reaches with a leadoff walk. She hasn't really gotten a lot of walks, just 18 walks. About 1 out of every 10 at-bats is a walk for Slawinski. But Betsa allows the first runner to get on. As we mentioned, the defensive starters, Christner in left, Lawrence in center, Susala in right, Montemorano at third, Ramirez at short, Romero at second, Blanco at first. And next up is Elizabeth Adams, the catcher. She attempts a bunt, goes foul to the backstop. Do you agree going with the small ball approach, kind of knowing the tough task Rutgers faces?
I would say so. They were able to generate 1 run yesterday off Sarah Dreesen playing small ball. But they're going to need to have some hits, some solid contact if they want any chance of staying in this game. And there's a huge cut from the batter.
Elizabeth Adams, not much of a power hitter, but that was a home run swing, I think is the term for it. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 count on Adams, who comes in with a .263 batting average and a .366 on base percentage.
And that failed bunt attempt on the first pitch was pivotal because that was an 0-2 hole. And you never want to get into a hole like that with Megan Betsa.
Betsa looking for her 4th strikeout of the game. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. She got her swinging. So Betsa now with 4 strikeouts in 4 outs. Slawinski still at first. Betza, as we said, just can be so dominant, especially to maybe some lesser experienced hitters. You know, underclassmen who haven't necessarily seen a lot of college pitching. That brings up Carly Todd, the right fielder, 227 batting average. She attempts a drag bunt right away, but she pulls back for ball one. And obviously they clinched it yesterday. They can clinch it outright today, I believe. But Michigan getting their 19th Big Ten title and 19th since I was born. And I'm not even that old. I just graduated. It's only been a couple years in my life where they haven't won. Todd fakes bunt, pulls back, fouls it to the backstop behind her. Aiden Falk catching once again for the Wolverines. 1-1 count on Todd. Todd, not much of a power hitter, just 3 doubles, no triples, no home runs. 1 on, 1 out, 1-1 count. Rutgers trying to make some noise against the Wolverines, already trailing 1-0. But that's certainly better than the previous 2 results, both of which were run rule victories. Betza, the 1-1 pitch. That's high and outside.
Wouldn't be surprised if Rutgers sent Slawinski to second base for steal attempts.
Base paths. So not stealing a lot, but when she does so, she has been successful. That's a good thought. The 1-2 pitch. It's outside. Secondary by Slawinski, but not going anywhere yet. 2-2 count.
I want to go back to that stat with the Big Ten titles. They've won 9 straight, and as Twitter user Drew Hallett pointed out yesterday, that is the longest active streak in the Big Ten out of any varsity sport.
Any sport, any team. The 2-2 pitch in there, and Todd goes down looking. It was a little low, but the umpire decided that it was strike 3. Todd returns to the dugout just as 4 of her teammates, she's the 5th strikeout victim of Betza just today, and we've only played. She's only pitched 1 2/3 innings, so everyone that goes down via strikeout so far. Fielders having a bit of a boring day. Infielders in on Nikki and Nico. There's a slap hitter. She swings and whiffs. First pitch of the at-bat. It's just a slap hitter, just one of 2 Rutgers starters that doesn't have an extra base hit. You can see the outfielders are closer to the infield than they are to the warning track, which is rare to see in a Michigan softball game. Betza with the 0-1 pitch. Looked good. It's called a strike. Late call by the home plate umpire. 0-2 count. So Betza, even after the leadoff walk to Slawinski, has really settled down and just dominated as usual, I suppose. Her ERA continues to fall. She has a batting average against of well below the Mendoza line. The 0-2 pitch fouled away. Nico runs all the way to first, but we'll return back to home plate with new life. Michigan honoring its 7 seniors, and my goodness, they've had about as good of a legacy as you could ask for Michigan, about as good as any Wolverine class has ever had. 2nd in the nation in wins. They've still got a lot more to go.
Yep.
Won their 201st game as a class just yesterday. The 0-2 pitch, it's high, 1-2 count.
You can imagine we're trying to get past Florida this year, because Florida is the one school with a senior class that has more wins than they do. Florida's just the team that Michigan faced in the Women's College World Series last year, falling in Game 3. Close fall battle.
Florida back-to-back national champions. They've had a good run as well. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss! And Betza once again strikes out the side. We enter the middle of the 2nd inning. Michigan leads 1-0. Betza on her senior day, looking as dominant as ever. And we've played 3 frames of softball here at Alumni Field. Another sellout crowd on a beautiful day. 63 and sunny was the announced weather at game time. And you're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan softball. Zach Shaw, joined by a couple of Michigan Daily writers. We're having a blast. At WCBN, a little short-handed. And Orion saying we thank him for joining us in the 1st inning. He'll be back. And that brings up Bettelhem Ashame. Making sure I'm saying that right. But nonetheless, Bettelhem, you've been covering the softball team all year. It almost seems like they're reaching new heights. Some of it's they're playing lesser competition. But is it safe to say that they're almost peaking right now?
I definitely think so. I think as of late, they've found a way to really find this groove that they're in. They've won 16 straight games, I believe it is now. And I think after those early losses in the Big Ten to Nebraska and Northwestern, they've really solidified their place atop the Big Ten conference leaderboard. And I don't think they're looking back.
That's right. They're certainly the favorites in the Big Ten. Minnesota, the only other real competition, and they haven't had quite the season that Michigan's had. Well, up to the bottom of the second inning, Rutgers, I suppose, got away with one last time. Michigan stranded 2 runners on base, and the only run belongs to Sierra Romero's home run. That'll bring up freshman Faith Canfield. So even on senior day, Michigan still has some younger players stepping up. Faith Canfield, the designated player, coming in with a .325 batting average, .444, perhaps a small sample size when she's leading off the inning. Slugging .494, 3 home runs this season. And Jones returns to the mound. Her earned run average sits at .489. It's kind of fluctuated a bit this weekend. She had some good innings on Saturday, but certainly one of the 2 pitchers that struggled on Friday. Michigan has won both games via run rule. 2 pitches on Canfield, 1-1 count. 3rd pitch high, so it's going to be a 2-1 count.
And Canfield has really broken into the starting lineup since about the midway point of the season. To start the season, Amanda Vargas was the designated player, but Canfield's bat has really brought her into the starting lineup, and she's done a solid job for Michigan so far.
4th pitch of the at-bat fouled away. And Rutgers, as we mentioned, not the worst in the Big Ten, but toward the bottom in the standings. Young team, they went 29-20 last season, but they lost a lot of seniors and upperclassmen, and I guess some of the freshmen have struggled to adapt to the college game. The 2-2 pitch from Jones, grounded right back to Jones, who sends it over to Carr for the first out of the inning. So Jones has done a nice job. I mean, she's not necessarily striking everybody out, but the contact has been minimal. It's been ground balls, and we saw a little bit of that on Friday in the later innings. Michigan just grounding the ball, grounding it to the infielders. I guess that's the best you can hope for against a team this good.
I think you definitely try to keep the ball out of the air, because typically when Michigan hitters hit the ball in the air, they hit it out of the park. So
yeah, I guess so. That brings up Lindsay Montemurano. And that first pitch is driven to left field. It might be extra bases. Montemurano rounding first, heading towards second as the left fielder bobbles it, and Nico tried to get it down the warning track. Unable to do so cleanly. Montemurano dabs with another double. And didn't even get to introduce her, but really, she's come on strong late. About as good of an 8-hitter as you're going to find in the nation. .315 batting average, .453 on base percentage.
Found a way to turn on her offensive game, and she's been successful ever since.
And that brings up Abby Ramirez. Kelly Christner, like Montemurano, struggled early on in the season. First pitch on Ramirez called a strike. Ramirez, a slap hitter, hitting .360 on the season. As we mentioned, Montemurano about as good as an 8-hitter as you're going to find. Abby Ramirez about as good as a 9-hitter as you're going to find. With the 2 Sierras waiting, provided Ramirez can get on. The 0-1 pitch from Jones, slap hit. And that's going to break through, and Montemurano rounding third hard, but she's going to be held up. Nice job by Brooke Carr, able to corral it in center field and get the ball in quickly. But nonetheless, Abby Ramirez gets another single. And Michigan has runners at the corners with just 1 out. That brings up Sierra Lawrence. Michigan has 5 hits, only 1 run to show for it so far. They can change that as the top of the order returns. Sierra Lawrence, one of the many seniors being honored today. 7 in total. Another one waiting on deck, Sierra Romero. Jones in the circle. First pitch of the at-bat, outside, ball 1. Absolutely beautiful day for softball. Wind heading toward right field slightly, but perhaps not enough to really alter the direction of the ball. Lawrence comes in with a .429 batting average. She grounded out to shortstop to start the first inning. Second pitch of the at-bat outside. So Jones seemed like her control had returned, and she was able to pick her spots, but she's falling behind against one of the best hitters in the nation.
And after Lawrence was named Big Ten Player of the Week last week, this is a tough spot to be in for Jones.
It certainly is. Lawrence with a 561 on base percentage. That pitch is driven. It breaks through the infield. That's going to score a run. Ramirez stops his second. Nice ground ball that just kept going all the way to the outfield toward the left side. Jordan Whitley unable to field it. I'd call that a base hit, though. Michigan getting its 6th base hit of the game so far. Michigan leads 2-0 here at Alumni Field. And just a nice piece of hitting. She didn't really get all of it, but she's got so much strength. She swings so quickly. Just able to get on with another base hit. And you mentioned a tough spot falling behind against Lawrence. It just only gets tougher in this lineup. Sierra Romero steps up to the plate. She already has a home run off Jones in this game, and we're only in the 2nd inning. She laced her 14th home run to right center field. Excuse me, 16th home run. See, she's going faster than I can count. Second pitch of the at-bat in there for a strike. 1-1 count, 1 out. Runners on 1st and 2nd for the Wolverines. Romero has a .492 batting average. That jumps up to .617 with runners in scoring position, perhaps because she knows the pitchers are going to actually throw her strikes. The 1-1 pitch, floater, but it floats outside. It's going to be a 2-1 count. Michigan on the verge of breaking this game open. It'll be the 3rd blowout victory in a row for the Wolverines. Well, I guess they perhaps have had some in previous weekends too, but Rutgers certainly not having a good weekend. And that pitch is sent up to the shortstop. They get 1. They don't get the 2nd out. Romero was there well in time, but Sierra Lawrence heads back to the dugout. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. Lewinsky to Wong. And that brings up Kelly Christner.
Even if you get 1 out, you have another strong hitter coming up right after. So even if you think you're out of a jam, you kind of are.
Yeah, really about jam-proof. Kelly Christner comes in with a .309 batting average, but she's been a lot better since conference play started. She kind of slumped a little bit to start the season, then she came on strong. Did you notice anything different?
I don't know specifically about her game that she kind of maybe changed, but I do believe that she's maybe shed the pressure of being an All-American last year and kind of gone back to the basics and focusing on just playing her game and playing good softball the way that Hutch always tries to instill in the players. And I think Christner's really taken that to heart, being a captain this year, and she's doing her best to lead the team as well as Romero.
Christner works herself into an 0-2 count. Credit to Jones on that. That pitch is grounded to Slowinski. Slowinski throws it over to first. It bounces. It gets by the first baseman. And all the runners will advance. Michigan does score a run. Romero stops at 3rd. But nonetheless, Michigan leads 3-0 on the error. I guess that error is probably going to be on Slowinski. Carr had her glove on it, but it was a bouncer. So it's going to be tough to manage. Nonetheless, Michigan scores, getting its 3rd run of the game. And they aren't done yet. If runners at the corners, runners at 2nd and 3rd. Christner went over to 2nd on the error as well. To the former walk-on, Kelsey Susala, one of the 7 seniors. So, some teams, they have seniors, but not all of them play, not all of them contribute. This is really one heck of a senior class. 3 of the top 4 hitters, seniors. Jones, first pitch of the at-bat, in there for a strike. And apparently not walking Susala, even though they have a base open. Susala with 10 home runs on the season.
Well, that's probably because in the 5 spot is Tara Blanco, who's hitting 400 on the season.
That's true. Tough spots. The 0-1 pitch. Now it's driven by Susala deep, but it's going to be caught by Nikki Aniko out in left center field. A couple steps side of the warning track. So Michigan gets 2 runs on the board, leads 3-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. So Rutgers, unlike the first 2 games, doing a nice job of at least containing the damage, keeping the damage to 1 to 2 runs an inning. That might get you a full game, which for Rutgers might be a victory at this point. First 2 games, absolute blowout victories. Is Rutgers doing anything different, or the ball's just not landing quite as generously as they were in the first 2 games for the Wolverines?
I think the Rutgers pitchers have been doing a solid job of trying to keep it very basic and not give the Michigan hitters too easy balls to hit. But I do believe that Michigan is trying to find their offensive surge right now. I mean, if you imagine in the past couple early inning games that they've had, they would just light up the scoreboard, but they haven't been hitting it successfully. And I think part of it is due to the Rutgers pitching, but I do think part of it is they're not swinging as powerfully as they have maybe on Friday and Saturday. So we'll see if they can get it going later on in this game.
In case you're just joining us, you're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan softball. Their final home regular season game. I shouldn't say home game. They'll probably be back here at Alumni Field for some postseason action. But I'm Zach Shaw. Joining me this inning, Bettelheim Nashame. Ryan Sang might hop back in. We'll see how the game progresses. But we certainly appreciate the Michigan Daily stepping in to help fill in for this broadcast. We're a little short-handed. And just to keep you updated, Michigan baseball having about as much success as softball is this weekend against Rutgers. They've outscored Rutgers by a score of 27-2 in their two games. They don't get to end the game early if they're winning by 8, though. So it's different metrics, but really Michigan baseball and softball combined to outscore Rutgers 47-4 in just 4 games in this series. Michigan already up 2-0 over at Ray Fisher Stadium. We can see it off into the left center distance. They're having a good season as well. They'll be right in contention for a Big Ten title. They're not necessarily dominating quite to the extent that the softball team has, but they're having one heck of a season as well. Bridget Carr steps up to the plate. Betza continuing to roll. Carr flashes bunt, pulls back, watches ball 1. Carr with a .213 batting average. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters for Rutgers. Carr, though she hasn't played a lot or had a lot of at-bats, she does have a little bit of extra base power, 5 extra base hits, 98 at-bats. Swing and a miss, even the count's at 1. Rutgers, if they want to make it a ball game, they might want to get a couple runs here and there. They're doing a nice job on the defensive end. Bridget Jones has at least contained Michigan's offense. Betza steps back in the circle for the 1-1 pitch. That one's in there, strike 2.
Rutgers doing a good job limiting the damage if they're pitching, but I do believe they have to learn how to break into Betza.
Yeah, you got to figure something out. Through 2 innings, they have 6 strikeouts and 1 walk and no hits. So not the results you're looking for if you're the offense. And that ball is fouled away to the left field side, heading toward the tent on the third base side. So that'll make it count 1-2. Michigan up 3-0 on the Scarlet Knights, looking for their 44th win of the season. Rutgers looking for their 21st. One-two count on Carr, the 8-hitter. Betza steps back, fires, delivers. That one's going to be low, even the count at 2. And we haven't seen them do a lot this season, and we might wait till after this batter to answer your question. But this defense has looked, they've been as dominant as ever. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities to look the part. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and it gets by Falk, and Carr will make there safely. So she'll reach via strikeout. So Betza does get her 7th strikeout, but Rutgers also gets their 2nd base run of the game. But hey, this defense, I guess we haven't seen too much of them. Do you think focus is a bit of an issue? Do you think, kind of falling asleep as Betza just strikes everybody out? Do you think that's any concern, or do you think that they're so locked in and just as talented as ever?
I think they feel very comfortable with that. It's interesting as well. They aren't really challenged so much, but I don't think that means that they aren't as focused in the game. I think they just rely very heavily on their pitching, which makes sense given how successful Betza has been for them this season. But pretty much all of the fielders that for Michigan are very, very good defensive players, both in the infield and the outfield. So it's just a win-win situation for them.
Adriana Burkar steps up to the plate, the 9-hitter. She flashes bunt, pulls back as the first and third baseman come in. Outfielders playing about as shallow as you can get in college softball. They're closer to the infield than they are to the warning track, probably about 130 feet out. Burkar, no extra base hits on the season. Certainly one of the smaller hitters in Rutgers lineup. 141 batting average. And that falls to 0.26 with runners on base. 1-1 count. Betza looking, I suppose, for her 8th strikeout. Well, I think she'd taken out any way she can get it. 1 on, nobody out for the Scarlet Knights. Bunt attempt is foul. So that might end that dream for Burkar. Burkar, the center fielder, very nice job defensively so far this season. Just a freshman, but I believe has yet to record an error. And she's made some nice plays as Michigan has scattered the ball across the field. That's a steps back for the 1-2 pitch. That's high. But Burkar, one of the freshmen that have stepped in and gotten a lot of valuable experience at the very least. Seeing the college game, you have to imagine over the course of a few years, even if she doesn't have the most success this season, it might pay off. Just learning from mistakes. The 2-2 count. Betza with the pitch. That's fouled. And Montemurano makes a nice play, but not going to get there in time. These base paths are relatively short, so you might see more bunts and slap hit ground balls because they're slightly more successful. Burkar, some speed to her credit. 4 for 5 in stolen base, and she hasn't reached base all that much. So nice job by her getting on base. And Rutgers has yet to hit a ball more than 10 feet, yet they have 2 runners on.
And no outs in the inning, so.
Yeah, a bit of a rally. That brings up the top of the order for Rutgers, as it appears Michigan has scored another run over on the baseball diamond. We'll keep you updated there. But it's going to be Stephanie Wong, who struck out her first time up. Entered the weekend leading the Big Ten with 64 hits, but that number has stayed put through 2 games so far. So certainly it's quieted down against some dominant Michigan pitching.
And when you consider that Michigan's pitchers have only given up 1 run so far in 2 games and about 2 1/3 of just two innings of this one, it kind of makes sense that the Rutgers batters haven't been doing too well.
Wong, the brightest of the Scarlet Knights, 362 batting average. The 1-0 pitch fouled into the backstop. She was late on that one. Betza, as we've talked about, showcase power, and she can also have some knee-buckling breaking balls. It's part of what makes her so dominant, a potential All-American candidate. I think Bettelheim has a better sense of how she stacks up to the rest of the nation, but certainly a candidate. The 1-1 pitch from Betza, that's a bunt attempt. Fielded by Montemurano, the throw down to first in time. Romero doing a nice job getting over there from second. So they get Wong, but she does her job of advancing the runners. Now runners on second and third with just 1 out.
I think Montemurano did a good job there, realizing that Burkar managed to make it on a bunt with that roll just slowly enough to make it all the way to first. But this time, Montemurano pretty much advanced just close enough that she was able to sprint into the ball that was very close to the catcher and throw it to Tara Blanco at first in time. Yeah,
good sense of timing and nice read by Montemurano, seeing the hand slide up the bat a little bit, seeing that Wong was going for a bunt. She was in on it, knowing that it was going right to her with plenty of time. To get the first out of the 3rd inning. Michigan up 3-0, but Rutgers threatening now. Jordan Whitley of the plate. She has a 325 batting average, and that ball is sent to Romero, who throws it home. It's going to be a plate to plate. And they got her. Nice job by Aiden Falk bringing the high throw down and getting the pinch runner caught. And, it's a bit of an unorthodox play, but Romero, we mentioned, has that senior leadership. She knows that perhaps that run might be more important to care about than the second out of the inning. Sometimes this early in the game, you might see teams trade outs for runs, but she wasn't interested in that. She saw Cott was pretty much committed to going home. So she fires it to home plate. Nice play by the Wolverines.
Very smart play by a veteran Romero, knowing that the 3-0 game, it could be a close one, and he's not wanting to give up any runs whatsoever. Just definitely the mentality there, and it paid off.
That'll bring up Sierra Maddox, who's also spent some time in the pitcher's circle this game. Maddox with a big swing and a miss. And Falk playing for the delayed steal. Yep, they're going to do it. Michigan trying to run down Whitley. She does it. That'll end the inning. I'm surprised Rutgers was going for it with 2 outs. That seems more like a 1-out thing to do. So Rutgers' run that comes around to score does not count. As Michigan able to get the 3rd out of the inning via rundown, and that's something you see a little bit more in softball than you do in baseball. Baseball, bigger field, the ball can be thrown a little bit harder since it's smaller. But Rutgers going for the delayed steal. And nice job by Falk getting it back to Betza early. And I think that was the key. And you could perhaps speak to it better than I can. And then Betza recognizing, okay, we've got 2 outs. Let's just get the runner. So she throws it to Ramirez. And Ramirez chases down Whitley at first base to get the 3rd out of the inning. And that'll do it for the top of the 3rd. You're listening to WC Michigan softball final regular season game. The Wolverines are looking for their 44th win. They got their 43rd via run rule victory yesterday. 3-0 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. And Bettelheim will be off the mic temporarily as we bring back Orion. And Orion, I alluded to it a little bit in that inning, but Betza putting on one heck of a performance today. And really the season at large. Perhaps you've crunched the numbers a little bit more than I have. Is she a candidate for Pitcher of the Year nationally? Is she a candidate for All-American? I would assume that she's ready to be awarded Big Ten Pitcher of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. Sarah Grunwald from Minnesota is very strong as well, so I can name with Betza, what she does,
yeah,
how high she gets on those All-American lists. There's several capable pitchers.
First pitch, Terra Blanco sent to center field. So a leadoff single for the first baseman with a 405 batting average. But go ahead, Orion.
Yeah, so I was looking at the NCAA stat sheets, and Florida has a couple of really some volume areas. But pitching about the same number of teams as it'll be tough to see. It'll be interesting to see if she makes that first team All-American, but certainly very capable. Should be up for a lot of
Well, Terra Blanco gets the leadoff single. So Michigan picking up just about where they left off. They scored 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the second. Let's see what they do here in the bottom of the 3rd. Aiden Falk made the heads-up move on that delayed steal play, I suppose. They got the 3rd out of the inning. Up to the plate now. 315 batting average is Jones. First pitch sent to center field. So back-to-back singles right up the middle. And Michigan known for their power, but certainly getting the job done, even in just base hits here and there. We saw Sierra Lawrence had one earlier. Jones showing a bit of her frustration, is now giving up 8 hits as opposed to just 6 outs. So Michigan not slowing down in the Sunday matchup. Already scored 21 runs this series. 24 now, including this game. Right where they left off. That'll bring up Faith Canfield, designated player with a 321 batting average. She grounded out her first time up. First pitch from Jones bounces in, ball 1.
He's got some speed on the base here. He started making balls. Canfield at the plate here. Had a good day yesterday. Had a 2-run home run. Her bat's really come alive towards this last half of the season here.
1-0 pitch in there for the first strike. 1-1 count, 2 on, nobody out for the Wolverines.
As I mentioned earlier, Canfield has taken the starting spot in the lineup. Previously, it wasn't in the audience. But now Canfield appears she's here to stay. Pitching bird.
Oh, and Wald took a big secondary off second base, but was able to scamper back in time. Rutgers playing about average depth on Canfield. I guess average for Michigan. Michigan has a lot of power in their lineup, so Rutgers outfielders have been playing awfully deep all series. Another sellout crowd here at Alumni Field. Well, you see a smattering of empty seats here and there. Fourth pitch on Canfield in there, strike 2, so 2-2 count. Jones looking to minimize the damage that the Wolverines can do, facing the bottom half of the order now. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So Canfield goes down swinging. Jones gets her first strikeout of the game. Lindsay Montemurano, third baseman.
Montemurano is actually just shows you how capable the lineup is.
Yeah, we've watched the team really grow from a team with a lot of talented players to almost a factory. Just bringing in freshmen and sophomores, they can get the job done year in and year out. You almost wonder who's on this bench if this lineup is so deep and so good. The bench might be one of the best in the nation as well. Just to give you an update on Michigan baseball, the Wolverines lead 3-0 on the baseball Scarlet Knights. So 2 3-0 games. Two teams that have dominated so far. Jones down 2-0 on Montemurano. Third pitch to the at-bat outside, so 3-0 count. And when you're facing the 8-9 hitters, and we mentioned that they're not your typical 8-9 hitters, they're very talented, but the last thing you want to do is walk them and get that top of the order back up.
Yeah, and Carol Hutchins really stresses to the bottom of the lineup. She wants them to turn the lineup over. She just wants them to stay within themselves and find a way to get on base and help them score runs.
The 3-0 pitch, Montemurano was taken all the way. It's in there for a strike. 2 on, 1 out for the Wolverines. Wind picking up a little bit, heading toward right field. Montemurano on the right-handed batter's box. More of a pull hitter than most of the Wolverines hitters. 3-1 pitch, ball 4. So that'll load up the bases for Abby Ramirez with Sierra Lawrence and Sierra Romero on deck and in the hole. So it's a big at-bat, both for Michigan and for Whitney Jones. If Whitney Jones wants to keep this game close with the bases loaded and 1 out, she has to get Ramirez here. Ramirez entering the at-bat, already with a single and a run, and a .366 batting average on the season. .333 with the bases loaded. First pitch, and it's grounded. It's very close to home plate, but it's going to be ruled foul. I didn't quite see the trajectory of that, but nonetheless, all the runners will return to their bases. Abby Ramirez will return to the left-handed batter's box.
Very capable hitter in the ninth slot. As you mentioned, her batting average is pretty high. She actually hurt an ankle earlier this season, so she lost some speed, but she's getting back to full health now. Saving the stretch of the season.
0-1 pitch low. Abby Ramirez has a .366 batting average, but also a .482 on base percentage. And with the bases loaded, that might almost be just as important. If she can just get on base, she'll pick up an RBI, and of course the top of the order will come back up. Rutgers got to take their time on this one. Their head coach comes out to talk to Jones as we get a break in the action. And looking ahead a little bit, I think we can probably safely do so. Michigan will be the #1 seed at the Big Ten tournament, and it looks like Rutgers is bringing all the outfielders in. This is a big moment, perhaps pivotal to the entire game. Rutgers down 3-0, but with one swing of the bat, could be 7-0. Certainly trying to minimize the damage. 1 out, bases loaded. We're looking ahead to this Big Ten tournament. You guys will be there covering it. WCBN trying to get there. If you want to help chip into that fund, just message us, comment on our broadcast. But nonetheless, it'll be a State College. Michigan will be the #1 seed. I mean, is there any reason to think that they won't win? They have had trouble with the Big Ten tournament in the past.
Very true. What I'm most interested to see is they face Minnesota in the final. Minnesota is very capable. Yeah, but they're facing trouble, you know. But this offense, they're just going to see it.
Yep. Big Ten's 2 dominant teams. Minnesota entered the weekend 16-3 in Big Ten play. Michigan 18-2. Ramirez watches the third pitch of the at-bat. It's going to be outside, so 2-1 count. Ramirez, a slap hitter. Infield playing in. In fact, they actually brought in a 5th infielder. You don't see that too often, but Carly Todd came in to kind of play a bit of a, I guess, a fifth stopper. Ramirez, no one to put the ball on the ground, but man, if she gets it into right field, it's gonna be a wild one. Nobody playing right field, just left field, center field. 2-2 count, bases loaded. Rutgers with 5 infielders in. That ball's driven. It's ground ball. Might pay off. They get 1 out at second base, but Michigan does score for their 4th run in the game. Nikki Wald, the pinch runner, comes around to score. So Ramirez gets the RBI on a ground ball, and I guess it paid off. They went right to Wong, who flipped it over to the right fielder Todd to get the out at second base.
Yeah, good defensive play. Just tough to do.
Yeah, certainly can't bring the outfielders in for Sierra Lawrence, one of the best power hitters in the nation. 10 home runs, 8 doubles.
Luxury to have at the top of the lineup. That on-base percentage and that power conversion.
That pitch gets away. And Michigan will come around to score. The pinch runner, Natalie Peters, comes around to score. And that was a bouncing pitch from Jones. Perhaps a bit of a fault on both the pitcher and the catcher, Elizabeth Adams. Bouncing pitch, but it seemed like one could be able to stop. But it gets away, heads towards the Rutgers dugout. So Michigan gets its 5th run of the game. They lead 5-0. And they really haven't even asserted their dominance yet. They're already up 5-0. You haven't seen them bouncing hits off the wall or hitting too many out. And Lawrence grounds that one hard. She's going to be safe at first. That one went off of Jones. I hope it didn't hit her too hard. It looks like she's going to be all right. And it headed over to Slawinski, the shortstop. But obviously, Sierra Lawrence, if there's any fault in the infield or in fielding of the play, she's probably going to make it to first base. I would rule that one a single. It's going to be her 2nd single in as many innings. Michigan has runners at the corners for Sierra Romero, who had a solo home run in the 1st inning to put Michigan on board. Outfield playing deep. First pitch low. Romero, these numbers are just staggering. 489 batting average, 601 on base percentage, 954 slugging percentage. So you're talking about an OPS north of 1.5. The 1-0 pitch is high. Looks like they're going to intentionally walk her as the crowd expresses their disapproval. They want to see Romero hit. But with runners on 1st and 3rd, perhaps better to have the bases loaded for someone that's not Sierra Romero than embrace the damage that she brings. 2 outs. So it'll be 2 outs, bases loaded for Kelly Christner.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the Scarlet Knights.
And we've seen some teams have even intentionally walked Sierra Romero with the bases loaded. I believe that was Central or Western that did it a couple years ago. See it once in a while, but that's not too common. Slightly more common is walking Sierra Romero to load the bases. That brings up Kelly Christner. That ball's grounded to Wong. It's going to be a 3rd out of the inning as she fires it over to Carr. So once again, Rutgers gives up runs, but they give up less runs than you might think that they would. I think the crowd was on the edge of their seats watching and waiting for this game to be broken open when Michigan loaded the bases with 1 out. And Michigan does get 2 runs, but perhaps a minor victory for Rutgers is they only trail 5-0 after 3 innings. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast. Zach Shaw, joined by Orion Sang here in the booth. Got a couple daily writers filling in for the shorthanded WCBN. And out trots to the mound, to the circle, Megan Betza. And Betza having another dominant day. Didn't get 3 strikeouts last inning, but I guess can't strike out the side every time you pitch.
Yeah, before the last inning, you guys have 3 strikeouts per pitch in this series. 3 innings pitched Friday with 9 strikeouts. So,
and I'm not sure when they'll start doing it, but I imagine, given the trajectory of the game, Michigan likely to get some of its other seniors some playing time, some action out on the field in their final regular season home game. It's pretty much a given that they'll host regionals, and assuming that they can win the regional, they'll host super regionals here at Alumni Field. It's been that way for the past few years.
Looks like there's a change of pressure for the Alexander. We had a fantastic defensive play last game yesterday against Rutgers. Diving catch on the foul pop-up. That actually made SportsCenter's top 3 plays.
Oh, yeah?
Number 8. Very capable defensively.
Defense looks about the same. I would imagine Aiden Falk is heading toward first base so that from catcher, so that Tara Blanco would eventually come in to pitch. That three pitcher rotation of Betsa, Jusenga, Blanco, Jusenga, obviously a fifth-year senior. I would imagine we see her at some point today, even if it's just for an inning. Unless she had a strong performance yesterday. But nonetheless, we head to the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be Sierra Maddox for the Scarlet Knights. Designated player hitting .263. And she did a nice job pitching yesterday. Nice job. It was a relative term against this Wolverines offense. Arguably the best in the nation.
I actually believe it was her sister pitching yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Standing on the other side.
She also does, as you alluded to earlier, she does double duty for Scarlet Knights pitching as well.
5-0 Wolverines. Betsa's first pitch gets away from Alexander, perhaps still getting used to being behind the plate today. She's done a nice job as a fill-in catcher, the freshman.
Yeah, I believe a walk-on from Saline, Michigan, so local girl.
Yep.
Ann Arbor.
That pitch was ball 1 on Maddox. Swing and a miss. Big hack by Maddox, bigger miss. Going to be a 1-1 count.
Wouldn't be surprised if they try to get Tara Blanco some pitching today. She hasn't really pitched too often. Hasn't really started a game in a long time. But anytime you can get her some work, it's a relief pitcher. Bodes well for the future. As they do graduate
Big whiff by Maddox. And yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue the pitching rotation, but Blanco hasn't had a whole lot of action as Betsa 21-3, Drasenga 20-0. So not too many opportunities when you have those pitchers. Swing and a miss, and Betsa gets her 7th strikeout of the game, 8th strikeout, excuse me. Maddox goes down swinging. So Betsa, after a bit of a rally by Rutgers last inning, they get a few runners on base. Betsa back to her dominant self, getting the strikeout, the leadoff hitter. I'll bring up Melanie Slawinski, shortstop, hitting .286, reached with a walk her last time up. Betsa's first pitch in there for a strike. And we've talked a little bit about Betsa's control, and obviously hasn't hurt her this series. Minimal damage, has not allowed a run yet, but 81 walks in 139 2/3 innings pitched. That pitch looks like it's going to be called a ball. 1-1 count. I mean, is it a concern as some of the better teams approach on the horizon, or do you think it's good enough now that she can still be dominant against some of the top teams?
I think if she had continued on the trend that she was on earlier this season, it would have been a cause for concern. But right now, I think she's pitching pretty well. Against those top teams, though, you never want to give up extra bases, free bases.
Exactly. 1-1 pitch, high and outside, 2-1 count. That's a reigning Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, looking to add one final stamp on her resume. She'll have the Big Ten tournament as well. But good bouncing pitch, caught Slawinski guessing. Swing and a miss. So even though that was probably ball 3, it's going to be a 2-2 count for Betsa. 1 pitch away from her 9th strikeout of this game. We're just in the top of the 4th inning. 5-0 Wolverines. Betsa steps back in the circle. Kicks, fires, delivers. That ball is fouled. It got off, it looked like the very edge of the bat. That might have been painful for Slawinski. It bounces just a couple feet away from Alexander, but it rolls foul. Betsa steps back in the circle. The 2-2 pitch. That hit Slawinski. Might sting a little bit. But Slawinski will take the free pass, so she reached on a walk in the 2nd inning. Reached by a hit by pitch here in the 4th. Yeah, I think just given how baffled Slawinski looked at the plate. You know, that almost looked like a strikeout in the making, but unable to get the job done as she hits Slawinski. That brings up Elizabeth Adams, the catcher. She struck out her last time up. She attempts a bunt. Nice job fielding is Blanco, who fires it over to Romero. Or excuse me, Aiden Falk. No, Tara Blanco, I was right. Sends it over to Romero for the second out of the inning. Does advance Slawinski, though, so it'll be a runner on second and 2 outs for the Scarlet Knights.
Wolverines played that one better than one yesterday. Second. There, they got that one first.
Big swing and a miss by Carly Todd, who's 0 for 1 today. She struck out looking, 225 batting average. Slawinski on second, looking to become Rutgers' first run of the game. That's trying to get the third out here, and that pitch is popped by Todd. Nice play by Ramirez, running all the way over near the left field foul line on that pop-up. Looked like it might have dropped in for an RBI single. Ivy Ramirez has a lot of speed, to her credit, able to track that one down to end the top of the fourth. Well, we've played 3.5 innings of baseball, softball here at 019 Field. Michigan on top 5-0, looking to add to it. And I guess if you're Coach Hutchins, you're obviously trying to prepare this team for the postseason, but it is senior day. Your team does have a lead. How soon do you start working in maybe Mary Sponek, some of these other seniors, trying to get them pinch hit opportunities or get them in the game altogether?
Thanks so much for coming. Love you so much. Thanks for inspiring me every day. I love you too much. And I just want to say I love you. Happy Mother's Day. I just wanted to thank you for being my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, and everything that you do. I love you.
Yeah. Play regularly like Sierra Romero and Lawrence, and Sala, but we also have some pretty valuable role players. Also as a team mom, actually.
Okay. And I've heard from various people around the team. I actually live with the team managers, but LC Noricano, one of the chemistry leaders, leads the way. Her and Lindsay Montemorano were part of that whole pizza campaign last season. LC just a spark plug in practice. Always bringing a lot of energy. Another senior, Kelsey Susala, takes the first hacks in the bottom of the fourth inning. Former walk-on from Garden City comes in with a .359 batting average in that first pitch. She wasn't biting, but it's called a strike. 0-1 count. Whitney Jones coming out once again in the pitcher's circle. 5.03 earned run average now after giving up 5 runs in 3 innings in this game. Only 4 of which are earned, of course. Second pitch of the at-bat outside to even the count at 1. Michigan has 5 runs on 9 hits. Rutgers has just 1 hit and 0 runs. Susala awaits the 1-1 pitch. It's in there, strike 2. So Susala has yet to get the bat off her shoulders in this at-bat. Now behind 1-2. Seems like Jones going a little bit more with the breaking ball this inning. Already has 2 such pitches so far. Susala waits the 1-2 pitch. And it's close. It's going to be called a ball, even the count to 2. Jones with a 2-2 pitch. That's driven to right field. It's going to be fair. Bounced off the first baseman's glove. Carr, Susala heading towards second. She'll be in there with a stand-up double. And really, I guess that's 5 by my count so far. The 10 hits have been potentially playable balls, ground balls, not necessarily, absolute blast off the bat, but they were just hard enough to break it into the outfield. That one went all the way to the fence. Some nice piece hitting by Susala. She finds herself on second base.
team's solo homer, but they've been finding ways to get on base.
That'll bring up Tara Blanco, who has 2 singles today. She gets a third. She'll likely drive in Michigan's 6th run. First pitch, swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Jones. The 0-1 pitch. Going to be outside, even the count at 1. 1 on, nobody out for the Wolverines. Once again, looking to just tack on enough runs to perhaps get out of this game early for the 3rd time this weekend. Rutgers looking to contain the Wolverines as they've been doing a decent job of so far. And it looks like that one hit Blanco, but the umpire perhaps calling her back. Either he didn't see the hit or he didn't feel that Blanco did enough to get out of the way. You can't, of course, lean into the ball to get hit. Coach Bonnie going to talk to the home plate umpire. Nonetheless, Blanco returns to the right-handed batter's box. I guess we'll just call that a ball.
That was That was
2-1 pitch called a strike. Certainly, Blanco not giving the home plate umpires good graces this at bat, especially after so confidently walking over to first. And that might have been the problem. Is Blanco didn't even wait for it to be called base. A hit by pitch, he just went over. Umpires don't like being stood up in such a manner, unless a 2-2 pitch from Jones. That one's sent into the mesh on the first base side. Good piece of hitting, just a little late was Blanco, who has a .410 batting average. He's 2 for 2 today.
Has a bit of a breakout year here, actually.
Yes, certainly. We mentioned she might come in to pitch later on in this game just to perhaps rest Betts a little bit and then get some innings herself. Michigan may need all 3 pitchers in their postseason run. Blanco at the plate with 22 extra base hits, just 122 at-bats. Pretty good clip. Slugging .746 on base percentage of .531. So another player with an OPS well into the thousands.
Yeah, interesting story because she was originally to be a pitcher, but she's played mostly as a hitter in the field.
Jones taking her time getting the sign on the 2-2 pitch. The delivery, that's fouled this time to the third base side as Hutchins skirts out of the way. Hard hit ball by Blanco, but that time she was just too early. So Jones doing a nice job mixing up her pitches, but Blanco also doing a nice job staying alive, back-to-back foul balls. Susala at second base, patiently waiting to be driven home. Blanco trying to get the job done. Jones gets the sign as the wind picks up. The 2-2 pitch that's lofted into right field. Looks like it's going to go foul out of play. So Blanco working the count, making good contact, nothing doing yet. All 3 have gone out of play. Carly Todd, the right fielder, playing about 1 step away from the warning track, so they certainly recognize Blanco's power. The other outfielder playing deep as well. 2-2 pitch fouled again. This one on the third base side. And it almost seems like a given now that Blanco's going to get a hit. It's just a matter of when. That's just how good she's been as of late. Blanco back in the batter's box. Jones back at the mound. The 2-2 pitch. That one hit her. And the home plate umpire once again telling Blanco to stay put. And I'm not sure exactly what the softball rules are, but in baseball, you have to, you don't have to actually move out of the way, but you have to look like you did not want to get hit. You can wear it, but you have to make at least an attempt. And that's what Hutchins is arguing, that Blanco at least pulled her shoulders back to protect her front. But I don't know. I kind of agree with the home plate umpire. I think that one was, once again, she's completely comfortable just sticking her knee out, letting it get hit. Don't release a free pass. It's going to be the third ball. So 2 of the 3 balls that Jones has thrown to Blanco, as the crowd shows their distaste for the decision. 2 of the 3 balls have hit her. The home plate umpires made Blanco stay put both times. Yeah, perhaps just to tell Jones, hey, relax. You know, it's been a long at bat. We're reaching close to 10 pitches now. Just missed that bat alone, so she's kind of exhausted. It's a bit of a battle. And as Hutchins finishes her argument with the umpire, and now coaches Blanco on some hitting techniques. I guess that speaks to Hutchins' intensity, even in a situation like this with Michigan cruising and rolling, and Blanco 9 pitches into that bat, still giving some technique tips. I guess every moment can be a teachable moment if you work hard enough. Jones gets the sign, steps back to the rubber. Long at bat for Tara Blanco. Reached the full count. The payoff pitch from Jones, that's driven to right center field. That's going to be deep, and it is gone! A 2-run home run. Blanco makes this a 7-0 ball game. Wolverines on top by 7, and they're just absolutely rolling. Every player showcasing their offensive ability, dominating the Scarlet Knights, and the domination continues off the bat of Blanco. She gets her 10th home run of the season, her 3rd hit of the game. Michigan leads 7-0.
Staying focused after
I know you take a hit by pitch there over a home run. Rutgers obviously didn't get to decide. The home plate umpire was the one that decided. But as we've talked about, this lineup is so deep. You gotta pick your intentional walks slightly because that brings up Katie Alexander, who hasn't had a lot of at bats this season. This is just her 6th, but she has 3 base hits, including a home run. So very few breaks in this Wolverines lineup. That ball not too deep. It was just about 5 feet over the fence in right center field. So it wasn't a no-doubter, but counts nonetheless. That ball's popped up by Alexander for the first out of the inning. Long able to get the catch at second base.
That's a good job.
Replacing Faith Canfield at the designated player. Sponik, the senior, hasn't been utilized too much, but has been a part of some pretty good Michigan teams. Coming in as a pitch runner, defensive replacement. Now she gets a chance to hit.
Another interesting story. Actually, going off the team and sauce and everything. I'm sure she would make it or not, but her speed clearly massive for Wolverines.
Sponik only 2 at-bats this season, but 12 runs. So that speaks to how often she is used on the base paths. And that's got to be an intimidating thing, walking on and trying out, going to a tryout for a team as decorated as the Wolverines, nationally recruiting the best players in the country. As Sponik grounds that one to Slowinski. Has a lot of speed, but doesn't make it there quite in time. About a step shy, so she'll ground out for the 2nd out. At the bottom of the 4th inning, Michigan already with 2 runs for the 3rd inning in a row. They lead 7-0. At the bottom of the 4th, Lindsey Montemorano stepped up to the plate. But yeah, it's just got to be about as intimidating of a tryout as you get, knowing that players are being recruited from all over the country, best players in the country coming in, and you're an in-state kid. You're just trying out, just hoping for the best. But she made the team and lasted all 4 years. Montemorano up to the plate. She grounds that one to Slowinski. Nice play by Slowinski, but it's going to be dropped by Carr. Rutgers' 2nd error. Montemorano reaches base for the 3rd time in 4 innings. That'll bring up Abby Ramirez with the top of the order waiting on deck. Michigan up 7-0, looking to add to that. And if they add enough to it and can play defense on the other side, this might be the last time they bat. And Ramirez sends that one to right field. Todd already playing in, so Montemorano staying put, but Abby Ramirez reaches base for the third time today. Seems like there's a lot of players you can say that about. Their second single. Crowd clapping along as Sierra Lawrence steps up to the plate. Michigan with 2 runners on and 2 outs. They already have 2 runs in this inning off the bat of Tara Blanco, but looking for more. And Lawrence, after grounding out to shortstop in the first inning, has singles in the second and third. There's an opportunity to drive in some runs. 2 runners on. That first pitch floats in there for a ball. 2 on, 2 outs for the Wolverines. Outfield playing Lawrence deep as they perhaps should, with 18 extra base hits this season. The 1-0 pitch from Jones is sent to left field. That's going to bring home Montemurano. Other runners stay put. Ramirez advances to second. And Lawrence with her 3rd hit of the game, but once again, not necessarily driving the ball deep or anything. Just little base hits that in theory could be fielded. They're just well placed and they're hit hard. And so she's on with her 3rd single in 3 innings. Yep. Michigan has won both games this series via run rule. Looking to do so a 3rd time. Michigan now has 13 hits and 8 runs. They lead 8-0. That brings up Sierra Romero. And anything else at this point is just to, I guess, help with the fundamentals, help the offense blossom, perhaps more so than it already was, and really just tack on to this dominating performance by the Wolverines.
Yeah, one thing you might worry about is the achievement is won 16 straight games or 17 straight. Maybe the team that lets up sometimes when they're that good, but I think Hutchins has been generally pretty pleased with their team's effort performance over this long winning streak. They've actually, by my count, out of these 17 straight victories.
As Romero grounds that one to Slawinski, who makes the play over to Wong at second base to end the 4th inning. We've played 4 here at Alumni Field. Michigan up top, 8-0. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast. Michigan well on track for another run rule victory, and they've been doing that a lot lately. They haven't lost since April 8th, and they've really dominated most of their opponents.
Yeah, they went today, but that would be
And celebrate with the Hey Mom, just want to reach out. Thanks for coming and supporting me. Thank you so much for everything you do for me. You're really inspiring.
It's going to be the senior out in the circle, no longer Betsa. Her day is done. It's going to be Sarah Jasenga, who pitched a lot yesterday, but obviously with potentially one final regular season inning in her career at home. Alumni Field. She's spent a lot of time here. She'll return to the circle. Yep, looks like we got a lot of defensive substitutions. Richvalski heads out to left field, it appears. And the sold-out crowd embracing their seniors one final time. If Rutgers can score, then it'll extend their stay out on the field, but it appears that Rutgers offense just unable to really do anything against Betsa. I would imagine similar task against Jasenga. It's a 5th-year senior. She was supposed to be done last year. Had an injury that took her out the entire season, which is kind of amazing that Michigan went so far without one of its best pitchers. But in a way, it's interesting because as a senior, and you see this in other sports too. Basketball had a couple this year. If you're a senior, you've seen a lot of the college game. You can come in and almost be an extra assistant coach. And I would imagine Jasenga interested in coaching down the road, as many of Hutchins' former players have done so. It might be a huge bonus for her getting to see it from the coach's perspective so early on in her career. Nikki Aniko step up to the plate. She struck out in the second inning, her only appearance so far today. Outfield playing mighty shallow on Aniko, who has 0 extra base hits. Entering today with a 274 batting average and slugging exactly that, 274. So all singles for Aniko, the slap hitter. Left-hander batter's box, infield in, with the corners playing for a bunt. Second pitch of the at-bat is fouled away. So Jasenga up 0-2 on Aniko, trying to make quick work of the Scarlet Knights. Michigan closing in on another one of those hour-and-a-half games. Been a quick one. Up 8-0.
So crowd here on Mother's Day.
The 0-2 pitch got Nikki Aniko swinging. So Jasenga picks up right where Betza left off. Another strikeout. And Rutgers just with 1 hit so far today. And just to fill in on all the defensive replacements, it looks like it is just Rutwalski out in left field. Spanik returns to the dugout as a designated player. And Lauren Connell at second. Thank you, Bettelheim, for the reminder. Michigan looking to close out its regular season with its 44th victory, 44-4. About as good as you can feasibly ask for. The next pitch on Bridget Carr. Strike to even the count at 1. 1 on, nobody out for Rutgers.
And if I had to bet, today's game will not be the last game.
Yeah, I think they're a lock to host the regionals, and then assuming they make it super regionals, which is a safe assumption, as Carr races that one foul to right field. Decent drive, but on the wrong side of the white lines. But yeah, I'd have to imagine as long as they advance the super regionals, they'll host that as well. It's currently the number 2 team in the RPI.
Very nice for you guys over at WCN. It saves us so much.
Yeah, well, the student publications, they got budgets, but not having to travel quite so soon allows us to save up for a potential trip to Oklahoma City.
You have to believe it's probably going to be.
It certainly is likely as Carr fouls that one away. 1-2 pitch, he stays alive. And we've talked about how Betza, potential All-American, not to be outdone. Jasenga, one heck of a resume in her own right, a 20-0 record with a 227 earned run average. Not quite as dominant in the strikeouts, just 91 strikeouts in 120 innings pitched. 1-2 pitch, low, even the count at 2, and 38 walks as well. But still, 20-0, obviously you have a good offense behind you. On a 227 earned run average, that's what you want.
Yeah, just saying that not quite a strikeout pitcher, but still quite adept at getting out speed on ground balls, fly balls. Clearly liked by the professional teams. She was drafted in the 5th round, and after the Masters draft by the Scrapper Dogs against the Houston. So we'll see if she continues her career. Most likely will.
You might as well. You love playing the game. You love it so much that you came back for a 5th year at Michigan. The payoff pitch is sent past 2 diving infielders for Rutgers' second hit. Bridget Carr doing a nice job staying alive. Fouled a couple pitches off. Worked into a full count. Drew the hittable pitch from Jasenga and sends it to left field. Nice ground ball. Got past both the third baseman and the shortstop. Rutgers' second base hit. That brings up Adriana Burkhar, the 9-hitter, hitting just 152 this season, but she does have a single today. And slap hitter sends it to left field, gets by Ramirez. Looks like it went under her glove and off her knee. So both runners will advance a base. Now Rutgers all of a sudden has a chance to keep this game going. They have 2 runners on and just 1 out, top of the order. I think it's pretty safe to say Demi Wong is Rutgers' best hitter by a decent margin. Entered the weekend leading the Big Ten with 64 hits. Does not have one yet this series. First pitch outside, ball 1. So Jasenga trying to get out of the jam and close this game out. Michigan 2 outs from a run rule victory, up 8-0 on the Scarlet Knights. Senga delivers the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss by Wong. The crowd inching closer and closer to victory. And as we mentioned, not the last time we'll see Michigan softball here at Alumni Field this season, but last time is a regular season. And perhaps for many of these seniors, Lauren Connell and Olivia Rutgers, last time they will play. It's hard to imagine they would get in the game in regional and super regional play. Third pitch on Wong, ball 2, so 2-1 count. 2 on, 1 out. Wong sends that one foul. It stands in right field. Nice catch by a Michigan supporter. Went over the mesh, so had some time to judge the ball. Made the catch. Wind picking up now, heading toward the right field bleachers. So ball may carry. Wong watches a strike. She will go down looking. Seems like she did not agree with that call. A little inside, little low. But she goes down nonetheless. Her second strikeout of the game. Senga with her second strikeout of the inning. Now 1 out away from a run rule victory. Going up against Jordan Whitley. Third baseman hitting .323 this season. Not much of an extra base threat, slugging .383. Rutgers with 2 runners on, looking to stay alive. 1 run will ensure that it won't be a run rule victory yet. Michigan with 1 run in the first, 2 runs each in the second and third, and then 3 runs in the fourth inning to make it 8-0. Second pitch on Whitley. Evens the count at 1. Whitley struck out in the first and reached via fielder's choice. Second base last time. 1-1 count, 2 outs. That ball's low. 2-1 count. Senga brushes her hand against the dirt, gets the sign from Connell, delivers the 2-1 pitch. That one's low, so 3-1 count. Rutgers itching to get another runner on base. Three-one count, 2 outs on Whitley. Outfield playing medium depth. 3-1 pitch, called a strike. So Michigan now 1 pitch away from a run rule victory. The crowd bangs their feet against the bleachers. Senga digs her cleats into the rubber, gets the sign, kicks, delivers, and it's going to be fouled away. Whitley able to stay alive, fouling into the backstop behind her. Michigan, well, as we've said, looking to close out the regular season with a 44th victory, honoring 7 seniors on Senior Day. Alumni Field, the sellout crowd making noise. That ball is grounded to right field, and it's going to be no play at the plate. Nice job by Susala getting the ball in. Carr held up at third. But nonetheless, Whitley extends Rutgers, I suppose, rally. They haven't scored too much. They got 2 of their 4 hits in this inning. Trying to stay alive now, just 1 base runner away from getting that pivotal first run. Yeah, I couldn't quite tell. Carr didn't seem to have too much speed, and you don't want to make the last out at home plate. You know, when you have your 3 and 4 hitters coming up next, you know, I guess you can kind of count on them. If they can't get the job done, then you probably weren't going to do much in this game anyways. But I would normally say take the risk if you're down 8, but you don't want to end the game on that kind of play. Just to keep our baseball fans updated, Michigan up now 8-2. So just dominance of these Scarlet Knights on both fields all weekend. Sierra Maddox steps up to the plate with the bases loaded. 261 batting average. Swing and a miss. She has 2 strikeouts on the day. Kasenga trying to make it 3.
That's 6 strikeouts yesterday. Not normal.
That's right. Already has 2 today. The 0-1 pitch is lofted high. Might be a play. And Sierra Mayo gets the catch, and that's going to do it here at Alumni Field. Michigan closes out its 3rd run-rule victory over Rutgers in as many games. They win 8-0 in just 4.5 innings. Michigan ends the regular season 44-4. Will presumably be the favorites in the Big Ten tournament next weekend at State College, Pennsylvania. And Orion, just some final thoughts on this game.
Yeah, it was a good all-around.
Talk to.
Too much power, but still got it. Because it does help those guys play small ball, launch home runs. You can do everything. That's what's going to carry them.
The final box score, Michigan, 8 runs on 14 hits and 0 errors. Rutgers, 0 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors. That's going to do it for our broadcast. We hope all of you out there listening, we appreciate you listening, of course. We hope you can enjoy a nice Mother's Day. We hope you celebrate another Michigan softball victory. And we hope you rest up because they've got a few more weekends. They'll likely be back here at Alumni Field for some postseason action. But for the regular season, that's going to do it for us, for Orion and Bethlehem, and for the rest of us at WCBN Sports. We're going to leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.